there, my name is Kat Starr, and I am passionate about explaining music theory concepts. The one I'm going to tackle today is the history of the Grandstaff. You've probably seen it before. I'm just going to draw a rough representation of it. A Grandstaff is the treble clef and the bass clef combined with a bracket. This bracket shows that they are connected and they're not separate. Now, this is a cool concept and piano players are very familiar with this, but a lot of other musicians maybe wouldn't quite know how they're connected. So that's what we're going to tackle today. Now, the story that I'm going to tell you is the one that was told to me in college by Mr. Lotz. He was the most awesome music history teacher. And when he explained the history, it just blew my mind. I thought, why doesn't everybody just start with this? This is so important. So, I'm not sure, dates and times or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you a loose history of the Grandstaff. About 1,000 years ago was when we first started trying to write down melodies. And it started off with just one line and, like weird shaped notes that just kind of indicated the direction of the melody, but not precise pitches. So that was pretty good, but it wasn't quite as useful as it could be. And humans, more is better. So they added on. And the staff that we see for much of medieval music is on a 4-line staff. Now, if you remember, our music today is written on a staff of 5 lines. And again, this was more concrete. It was more clear which pitches were what. That had a specific place and name. So it was getting clearer, but it wasn't quite clear enough. So they added more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, that is correct. The staff got up to 11 lines. Guys, that is too much. It was a little overwhelming, but we have all these notes down here and we have all these notes up here. So they didn't want to just get rid of the bottom or get rid of the top. So they did something really smart. They got rid of the middle line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do, 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 do. They got rid of the middle line and made this into 2 clefs, 2 different staves. So the top became the treble clef. And the treble clef is what violins use, flutes, guitar, oboe, higher instruments like that. And then the bass clef, that was for the left hand of the piano, cello, trombone, lower instruments. Now, here's what's cool. We've still got this line in between the treble clef and the bass clef. This line just became not part of the staves, but what we call a ledger line. This, folks, is middle C. I'm sure you've all heard that term before, but maybe didn't quite know why it's called middle C. This is why. It's right in the middle between the treble and the bass clefs. Now, I hope this is already making light bulbs go off in your brain, understanding these connections, but I'm going to blow your mind further. Okay, I mentioned down here, we have these really low notes that are in the bass clef. And you may already know that notes are either going to be between 2 lines or on a line. So let's start at the bottom. In bass clef, this note is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we start over again. A, B would sit right on top of the staff. C, middle C, D, E, F, G. It just keeps going. The Grandstaff is actually a continuum top to bottom. So they're not separate at all. They're, even though in piano music sometimes they look very far apart, this is the actual relationship between the two staves. There's only one line separating them. So I hope that that's made things a little bit clearer in terms of how bass clef and treble clef are related. And in my next video, we're going to talk about why they're called bass clef and treble clef and what that actually means. So stand by.